Rangan, Venkat, and Jessary for having us at their beautiful, beautiful home. Thank you so very much. So we'll kick it off with Venkat saying a little something, something, then Andy will end, and then we'll go eat.
All right, thank you, Kivob. Really, really welcome everyone back to Clari's first headquarters, also known as the garage. I hope everybody gets a chance to, walk into the garage, see what it felt like back when we started. I still remember, us tripping over the heaters, tripping over the, circuit breakers, looking for the best spot for the heat, the air conditioning, a fan, everything put together. So that was fun, and it just pleases me like no bounds to see how much the company has grown. It's all because of you, all your teamwork, and all your, commitment and full dedication to the Clary purpose, the Clary cause. Really, really, so super thrilled with what the company has accomplished so far, and really amazing to see this group here this today. It turns out to be a great day as well. So this day is a day for fun. I'm hoping that you all can suspend your work-related items and just have fun today. All right, back to you, Andy. Where are you, Andy?
Okay, I forgot to read the first of all, Venkat. Okay, this is here's a cultural moment. Sorry, I love you. You know that. I do. I love you so much. You're awesome. For even though crazy, but I love you. And I do want to say I've said this at well, first of all, I'm going to say I didn't know I was supposed to speak. So I'm not ready to speak. I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to say? Kiwo, but I'm kind of busy. And a lesson learned, right, before the event, call me, say, okay, I know you've been really busy meeting with other CEOs who love our platform. I met with Andre Iguodala and Kevon Looney, by the way, which was awesome, too. Yeah, they're going to come spend some time with us, which will be really fun. They met with Andy Byrne. Thank you, AB2. Love you, too. Love you, too. Let's see. So, the garage state of mind. I was mentioning to a handful of folks here that really special time, a romantic period, but also a really stressful period. Just to give people a little bit of insight into what the garage days were like, if I may. There was a lot of uncertainty. We were not really sure exactly what we were going to build. And a lot of debate, and more stressful than you might realize. Relative to now, and I was mentioning that, what was the most stressful period? And actually, for me, the most stressful period, even though this is such an epic, beautiful, sort of serene, surreal space, was when we were in the garage, because, we didn't really know what we were going to build. And now you would think, oh my gosh, Andy, you're responsible for not just, I don't know how many employees we have now, but 600 or 700 and all of their families. That's really stressful, but I feel like we know what we're doing. We know what we're going to build. The market opportunity's never been bigger, so my stress is not nearly as high as was when it was here. But we got to a moment where it kind of crystallized for us. I was on the phone in the garage. Venkat and Malay and Kurt and Isaac are coding and designing, and I'm too loud on the phone. I'm selling. I'm talking to customers. I'm calling all weird American Airlines. I'm calling Adobe. I'm calling HP, and Venkat saying, "What are you doing? Do you really know what you're doing?" It was literally that kind of stress. Anyway, so I think about that stage was about creating something from nothing. And many of you might have heard that from me, is that in my career, what drove me early in my career is creating something from nothing. And that was really powerful. Didn't have an idea, have an idea. Didn't have a team, have a team. Didn't have a prototype, have a prototype. Didn't have an office, have a really nice garage. And then we went to like bad office, bad office, bad office. Again, this was the best view we've ever had. Then you have customers, you have employees, you have a culture that did not exist. And a lot of people are here saying, which I'm so grateful to hear a lot of the positive commentary about our culture. Thank you so much. It's the thing that Venkat and I feel probably the most proud about. That leads me to my next comment, which is, and I'm just kind of winging it here, so when I think it was about year 3 or 4 at Clari, I realized what drove me and what I loved switched. And it switched from creating something from nothing to seeing the growth in others, seeing the growth in people. And as Venkat and I are later in our careers, that is the thing that drives us, is seeing all of you grow. Those of you that have been with us for a while, that know me, that know Venkat, and we've seen you grow in tremendous ways. And, you know, the next stage of the race is about that. Like, we're really focused on all of you. And I'll end by saying I have a request around culture. And that is, if you think about today, it is really special to get together, right? It is really, really important for our species to be in person. And no, I'm not going to say that you're required to get to the office. Don't worry. But I am going to say I want to activate all of us to think about ways in which we can get together. Right? And we talked about this a lot at the Morgan Stanley conference. CEOs were saying, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And it was the #1 topic. And there were 2 speakers there that who were icons of the industry. A gentleman named Keith Block, who joined Oracle at 50 million in revenue. Now, he left when they were 50 billion in revenue. Or 20 billion or something like that, but 50 million to 20 billion is crazy. And then Anil Bhusri, who is the founder and co-CEO of Workday, who, by the way, as I mentioned in I'm going to say it again on Slack, was so awesome. He came up to me and he goes, Clari, we love Clari. It's an icon, literally. And they both said the #1 thing that matters right now in the world of business is no culture. Culture is #1, and they said that's what's going to get the good companies to be great through all of this crazy uncertainty with the economy and war, and you know we still have a pandemic that we're dealing with, right? And so my ask. And I really want you to think about this with your peers in your meetings, is how do we get together more? And I'm trying to activate the entire company, and it drives people crazy, and I try to crowdsource things over chat, on Zoom, which is, by the way, a great technique to get in 60 seconds, like 400 ideas. It's so awesome. So that's my ask as we, really enjoy this beautiful day. And I also want to say thank you, Jay Shree. Love you too. Everything, and Venkat. I feel like if we do that, we all have this kind of stress and, of execution. I've been on a bunch of meetings with folks recently about, accountability and velocity, and we need to be more relentless, and we need to push harder. And you're going to hear a lot of that from me. But I think the number one thing is for us to focus on culture and being together. So I'm going to be making my rounds. Let's get creative. right? Let's have some fun. Be codes, take people golfing, right? Jin Chang, I don't know, what are you going to do? You're going to take people boxing or kickboxing or whatever it is, right? You've been doing your fighting stuff that you like to do there. I'm not a fighter. So let's think about it and be intentional. And I would love to, in 90 days, hear all of the stories about, wow, this company just ignited. And they all had these really 3 people, 5 people, 15, 50. Let's do that, right? And I think we'll look back and say, we raised the level of the culture and we figured it out. And that's what caused us to go from good to great, and we're rising up. Okay? All right. Love you all. Thank you. Okay.
Let's give a big